on 24 and 25, along with 10 hackathons and a couple of ideathons, which is why this should make a little bit of sense. And I have completed 5 internships, including a national exchange, IIT Patna for research, and also a Silicon Valley US startup. And now I'm currently working as a software engineer at Indian Bank's digital infrastructure company, which is a consortium of 18 banks. And the agenda for today is that since you guys will be participating in SIH 26, so we can discuss a couple of points that is in the agenda today. So we start with the discussion on how to form the team, how to select the right problem statement, how to create the PPT, what's the procedure for online submission, what is to be developed into the prototype and presented on ground on the day of finale, how do you pitch it, and the most important part is just a tip from the team I participated with for 2 years. So I'll just start with the first point. So we can have this as a open-ended conversation as well. So feel free to jump in whenever you guys have any questions. बीच में ही पूछ लो चलेगा वैसे Q&A है end में, but then if you feel like you need to ask it right now, please feel free to interrupt me. So there are 6 people in our SIH team. Were you guys aware of that? Many of you would be. Yeah. So the criteria is simple that one of them has to be a female member, more are welcomed if so. And usually how I see the team divide is in the following way that 3 of you should be full stack developers and 3 of you should be doing AI/ML, or a better way to segregate that is I would say 3 of you should manage what will be seen on the screen and 3 of you should manage what goes on behind the screen. So that is a good way to segregate it, is what we did. Now you see over here, so the pink one is a female member, that is a compulsion, so you guys have to do that. Now 2 of them are suggestions from my side. The green one in P stands for a presenter. So Smart India Hackathon is obviously a very much hands-on hackathon, but then in the finale, when you have the entire panel of judges, mentors, and people from the particular university that are hosting the particular nodal center that you guys are going at, most of the focus on the last round is on the pitch. So I would say that 30% of your entire SI journey is how well are you able to present it. Like you have built a very, very solid solution, but then if you don't make a story around it, if you don't present your flows in a way that the people presenting the problem statement are convinced that you are able to understand the pain point and solve it to whatever extent, it all goes into vain. So one person is not just so this presenter is not just a person who is good with English or like speaks English fluently. This person is someone who spends, let's say, an hour every day from when you start working on the problem statement and documents your entire journey and tries to build a story around it. And on the day of finale, that particular person has to narrate an entire story on how did you end up picking up this problem statement, what all research you have done, what were the phases, what were the iterations, what were the multiple failure points, how did you reach to this particular level and present all of it into a single go. So this is the entire, I would say, forte of a presenter. So a presenter is very important, but then you can have a major segregation as per front end and back end, and the presenter can be anyone who is very good with doing this particular thing, and a subset of it can become a presenter. Now the yellow one in the A stands for a app developer. So this now takes you to the problem statement slide. I'll just switch it. So now while selecting a problem statement again, perspective matters. So over here, I have written 2 words, yours and theirs. So you guys are students in your second year, third year, fourth year. From your perspective, what is SIH? Anyone? Like whatever understanding you guys have of Smart India Hackathon, it can be as minimal as it's a national hackathon or anything. I just want some of you to volunteer and tell me कि तुम क्या सोचते हो SIH के बारे में. If no one says we pick, guys.
Guys, anyone, please.
भाई कोई नहीं बोलोगे तो विशाल को बोलना पड़ेगा. क्या होता है भाई ऐसा just according to you?
Basically, it's a national level hackathon, so it gives you knowledge how to participate. It gains your knowledge how to present the PPT, how to present in front of the national level panels, and how to manage the hackathon.
सही है भाई, thank you. So this is the yours part of the perspective because तुम्हारे लिए this is a hackathon, but the other side of it is theirs. Theirs में क्या होता है कि if you just go to the SIH website and problem statements, you will see name of institutes. There are ministries of education, ministries of welfare. Then there are institutes that are hospitals or like ISRO is there. All of these ministries and institutions are coming here and giving you problem statements to solve. Now these are problem statements which are very tech savvy कि जिसमें आपको AI भी करना है, there is cyber security also. Now the problems that they are giving you, if they go to the industry and hire someone from the industry to solve that particular problem, they will end up spending lakhs, and over here the prize money for the winning team is 1 lakh. So it's the other side is that it's the economy of scale for them. India wide there is this one particular medium जहाँ पे all of the organizations and ministries can give the latest of the problem statements and get a solution for them. So your side is very much that तुम्हें exposure चाहिए, तुम्हें national level hackathon में participate करना है, but their side is we want a solution to this problem from the latest batch of engineers or techies out there in the country. So when you think of a problem statement, you just not think of it कि मैं ये hackathon में जाऊँगा, 2 महीने के बाद मैं जीतूँगा, खत्म हो जाएगा. No. If you end up going to the finals and if you end up winning, which I wish you do, you will be also asked to deploy the solution for the particular ministry. So for example, the last SIH 25 that I won, उसमें my problem statement was a recommendation scheme for the PM internship yojana. And once we won it, we also deployed it for that particular ministry. So it goes way beyond the 2 or 3 months of the hackathon, and you have to actually work with the same set of friends whom you are forming the team with. So it's also very important to like pick the team wisely in the sense कि it's not just कि another 24 hour 48 hour hackathon कि एक बार गए एक दो रात में खत्म हो गया. These are the people that you will work with probably for the next 6 to 8 months of your life, so which is very significant. So this was that. So as a team, these are some of the pointers that are good to consider in my opinion. So we actually jumped to this slide from a particular section into the teams part जहाँ पे एक orange में A लिखा था, which was for an app developer. So it very much depends on the first point over here that you want to find teammates, or as a team you should be equipped with those relevant skills. So for example, the problem statement asks for an app particularly, and then there is no point getting 3 AI guys or 3 developers. Then it's more ideal to get 2 or 3 guys who are directly into app development, a presenter, and maybe if you don't have a female candidate, then have a female candidate on your team. So it very much depends on what problem statement also you are sort of aiming for. So while forming a team, I would say that once the problem statements are out, first you go through the problem statements by yourself alone, and then you end up finding people who want to do similar problem statements. Like some of you would be very much interested into cyber security, but your immediate friend groups aren't. They are picking up problem statements which are very AML oriented, which is fair enough. So you just find out people from your college who are interested in cyber security and form a team with them. Another thing is, while you are picking up a problem statement, you are not just creating another PPT जो कि 2 घंटे में बना के you submit on a portal and like if God wishes then हो जाएगा वरना गया तो गया. No, you have to actually take interest and you have to research about it. In the sense, the first SIH that I participated in, SIH 24, we were very lucky that the problem statement we liked the most was an institution in Bandra called Ali Yoga Jang, which is a medical institution that helps people with speech disabilities. So then we ended up visiting that particular institution every week for 2 weeks. Every day for 2 weeks. And they were sort of annoyed by us at the end because every day हम जाते थे. We start with the receptionist, we go to the nurses, we go to the doctors, the senior doctors, the HOD, and we just keep on asking them कि आपने ये problem statement डाला है, but what exactly are you looking for? Like आपको चाहिए क्या हमसे, and what should be the solution? Then if we are going every day for 2 weeks, we would come back, रात को Google Meet पे बैठते थे, 2-3 घंटा कुछ बनाते थे, and next दिन हमको जाके दिखा देते कि okay, this is what we have made, this is how it looks like, इतना ये functionality में output देता है. Now what more can you expect from this? And you can say that we were lucky that proximity wise we were the only team who could do it possibly. But then in the next SH25, जहाँ पे the PM internship scheme वाला PS था, so that thing was managed by a ministry in Delhi. So उधर तो हम भी नहीं जा पाए. So end up calling them. You call them and ask them कि currently for the internship scheme, how are students benefited of the scheme? Like, is there a recommendation already? Like, is there a RS already in place? Like, what is the system? What is the volume of application? What is the conversion rate? What is the success rate? What is the failure rate? And you call them and you annoy them. So the second point is that you need to be curious enough about the problem statement to research. You can't just open PowerPoint in one tab, GPT in one tab, and sort of make the PPT and submit it saying कि अभी select होना होगा तो हो जाएंगे. Doesn't work like that. And then obviously you need to have something to stand out, which we can discuss in the further slides. And then the second last point is, okay, so you should be able to form a storyline around it. And you can, okay, so you need to have this amount of clarity with your problem statement that you can explain it to someone who is completely random and unknown of the problem statement within 2 lines. Like I'll try doing it for the first SIH I participated in, the medical institution one. So let's say I was a kid who was 4 years old and I used to stutter. So I went to this organization, I got speech therapy for 1 year. And by the time I was 5 years old, I was good, I was fit and fine. So I stopped going there. And then when I was 15 years old or 16 years old, I started stuttering again. So I go to the same institute and I say that I came here in my childhood, I took speech therapy for a year and I'm back again because I'm facing the same problem. And the management over there used to look up for a manual folder and search my name. And मेरा नाम वाई से आता है, तो उनको पूरा कोने में जो फोल्डर था उसको निकाल के ढूंढना पड़ा कि ओके डिड वी एवर हैव अ पेशेंट कॉल्ड यश, उसके फाइल्स किधर है, उसका ट्रीटमेंट क्या हुआ था, उसका कितना महीना चला था केस, एंड द एंटायर हिस्ट्री ऑफ इट. सो दिस एंटायर थिंग कैन बी वेरी इजीली डिजिटाइज्ड इन द सेंस कि दे कैन हैव अ वी लुकअप और अ सर्च जहाँ पे तुम यश लिखो और सारे पेशेंट्स दिख जाते हैं एंड मेरा पूरा ट्रीटमेंट हिस्ट्री आपको एक ही पैनल पे दिख जाए. This was the problem statement. If I am able to convey this problem statement in 2 lines, उसका मतलब I had clarity on it. This is what you have to do when you are looking at a problem statement, that you ask yourself the question that why do they need this enough times, that you have this clarity कि next time when someone says कि ये कोई एकदम ही random बंदा है या बंदी है, उसको तुम 2 लाइन में समझा दो कि तुम SIH में क्या solve कर रहे हो. If you are able to do this, then you have understood the problem enough. So this is on the PPT part. I don't think so they're able to see it well. कुछ stream में है क्या भाई? Like, will they able to see it somewhere? So उसमें there are 3 important slides as per what I would want to discuss. The one is the technical approach, wherein ideally you have to sit down with your friends enough, maybe in college, maybe online meeting पे Zoom पे, wherever you feel right, and you need to visualize the problem end to end, that you are able to create a flow diagram like this. जहाँ पे you know that if someone, so this is for the SIH24, the medical institution one, कि अगर एक patient hospital आता है, then what are the cases that can happen and what is the user interface and what are the users. So identifying the users is also a very key role. So there can be, so we were making a institution management system. So we were focused on people who work at the institution. So there can be a student therapist interning over there who is treating this, who is treating the patients. There can be a patient, and there are supervisors obviously for the interns. And the problem statement wanted some technical parts to it and some security aspects to it, which is why you can see a encryptor, decryptor. We can speak about the security part in the further slides as well. But basically you can have an entire data flow diagram mapped out on this slide, so that the person reading it would say that, okay, you have identified the entities using it, you have identified what technical aspect of the system requires, and you have orchestrated it well enough into one particular diagram that all of the use case can be mapped out within one particular flow diagram. And then obviously if you are really passionate and want to give your best, you also make a Figma mockup for the web part, for the app part. So most problem statements would specify that either a web app is expected or an app is expected as such. But for this particular problem statement, since the user was also a patient, we would say that the management system would be operated via desktop, but a particular user will have access to the same system on his phone, so that prior to his sessions, he can have the notifications or any of the reminders on his phone, or he can chat with the particular supervisor, student therapist assigned to him for his sessions or progress on phone. So we ended up developing both, and it's all about standing out in the sense that for every problem statement, we'll also discuss it in the next slide. There will be 500 submissions for every problem statement, out of which they will just look at the PPT. पहले तो तुम्हारा कॉलेज का इंटरनल स्क्रीनिंग ठीक है, फिर यू गो ऑन द पोर्टल SIHK एंड फॉर एवरी PS यू कैन सबमिट 500 एंट्रीज अक्रॉस इंडिया. उसके बाद जस्ट ऑन द PPT दे फिल्टर टॉप 6, उसमें से देयर इज वन टीम हु विंस. ठीक है, सो इट्स इंपॉर्टेंट टू स्टैंड आउट. नाउ व्हेन वी वर आल्सो स्टार्टिंग आउट, हम लोग भी थर्ड ईयर में थे, तभी वी वर लाइक कि हमने ये एक्चुअली फिग्मा नहीं है, वी एक्चुअली डेवलप द फ्रंट एंड 2 रात बैठ के, एंड वी वर लाइक कि जस्ट द फ्रंट एंड इज गुड इनफ फॉर अस, वी डोंट नीड टू मेक अ फिग्मा ऑफ अ ऐप थिंग, बिकॉज कितने स्क्रीन्स बनाएंगे ऐसे तो. बट देन लाइक द टीम पोस्ट ईच अदर एंड हम लोग ने ये बना लिया. एंड देन वन ऑफ माई टीम मेट जस्ट जोक कि भाई ऐसे तो हर एक स्क्रीन के लिए बनाओ, फिर देयर शुड बी अ टैबलेट ऑल्सो, देयर शुड बी अ फोन का इंटरफेस ऑल्सो. And guess what? In the finals, we ended up making an interface for tablet also and a smartwatch also. And one of my friend had an Apple Watch, so he just coded the UI in Swift and deployed it. And when the judges came for the final round, we showcased them a live notification example कि watch पे कैसे दिखेगा. And no one could even think कि okay, there can be so many aspects to just one solution. So this helps in standing out. Other part is that technology stack should be clear, so that if you guys are developing a front end, you should know कि तुम लोग वाइट यूज कर रहे हो, रिएक्ट यूज कर रहे हो, नेक्स्ट यूज कर रहे हो. एंड देन इफ यू आर डेवलपिंग अ ऐप, देन यू शुड नो कि विल इट बी रिएक्ट नेटिव, विल इट बी फ्लटर. So this technology stack just gives them a clarity that okay, you are not bluffing, you actually know the tech stack that goes behind developing the particular screens. And if you are using sort of AI/ML oriented problem statement, तो उसमें what database you are using and what cloud services you are using. So I am from DJ Sangli, so we ended up having Microsoft Azure के free credit, so we ended up using that. And then Flask is just for fast APIs. So this slide is just to give them confidence कि okay, you know your technology and you know what you are talking about and you have researched enough that what things will go into developing a solution for this. Okay, another thing is whenever someone is looking at a presentation, like even you guys would know कि अगर तुम्हारे पास कोई PPT लेके आता है and if you are to see a presentation, you won't end up giving more than 10 seconds to a slide, because who is reading all of that text? No one is. ठीक है, but ठीक है, like since there are 500 entries और उसमें से shortlist होगा, तो you go with a presumption कि वो लोग पढ़ ही लेते होंगे जो भी लिखते हो. But then what you can do is you can make things easier for them, or at least interesting for them, by using visual diagrams. So there is a flowchart, there is a visual diagram wherein we can say that there is a viability perspective, there is a challenge perspective, there is a feasibility perspective, and we combine all of the three. So this is a solution, Vani Vikas. And how are we combining viability and challenges through encryption, feasibility and viability through automation, and feasibility and challenges through OCR, which is optical character recognition. So you try to stand out even visually. So SIH is basically कि जितने भी aspects में तुम stand out कर सकते हो, कर दो. Don't think twice. If you are able to sort of have a unique thing or have a better portrayal of what you are trying to solve by any means, be it visual, be it innovation, anything, please go ahead and do it. And again, you don't have to list out 5 models, you need to have clarity on one model and why it will help, and again for the OCR, one model and why it will help. And so this is also a game changer, because if you read this, it is the on-field findings. So what I mentioned, that you go in person to the institution and you ask them that what is your problem and what are you trying to solve. And if the particular institution is not in your city, you call them and ask them that what is the problem you are trying to solve, and you get insights from them. And then you give it to the portal saying that we already are in talks with them and we are trying to understand whatever problem they are facing, and we have already communicated the draft 1 and draft 2 of a solution to them. and got their feedback. So in the references slide, which is the next slide, I can just show it. You end up mentioning it over here on field findings, the 3 points, and you can have a URL that opens a spreadsheet. So this is a user interview spreadsheet of whom we interviewed and what was the question that we asked to them. The entire thing documented in one place. So that this shows that you are sincere to the problem statement and you actually spent time. You actually spoke to whatever 10 to 15 people, you got 10 to 15 perspectives of the problem, and you also showcase them the draft A and draft B of what your solution is, and you got the feedback. So this means like whether they select you or not, you're already working on it, so might as well select you. So for PPT, these are just 3 heads up that I would give. That it seems simple कि 6 slide बनाना है, but PPT won't be made in a day. So prepare in advance. It will take you easily around like a week or at least 5 days to make a PPT. And on SIH, if you guys don't know, you are allowed to like for our times last 2 years, you are allowed to submit on portal for 2 particular like 2 problem statements. So internal round we are allowed to only present 1, but if a college chooses you to submit it on the portal, you can apply to 2 problem statements. So 2 problem statements मतलब 2 PPT, 2 PPT मतलब 2 हफ्ते or at least 10 दिन. So plan accordingly. And upload all attachments in the sense कि if I have made a flow diagram, it can be कि मेरा जो मैंने फोटो डाला है फ्लो डायग्राम का दैट इज वेरी ब्लरी है, उसमें मेरे को टेक्स्ट पढ़ने को नहीं हो रहा. सो इन द रेफरेंसेस स्लाइड आई अपलोडेड ऑन गूगल ड्राइव and I upload the photo of the flow diagram separately. So if someone wants to open it, or the Figma prototype, or the Excel where the user interviews are written, anyone can open it and look at all of the attachments. And you can also add a demo of the draft A and draft B that you create while submitting the PPT, and you can just publish a listed video on YouTube and attach it, saying that this is somewhat what a solution would look like. So they would just like what you want them to feel is key. You've already worked enough for a prototype, for user interviews, for getting feedback, for making workflow diagrams, understanding end-to-end entities. If you have done all of this, then might as well select you. So this is the kind of notion that they should have when they are looking at your PPT. Now, if you end up clearing the college round and the portal round, and then you finally get a notification that you have been assigned to a nodal center, which is mostly outside of the state you are from, so it will never be Maharashtra, you have to travel somewhere. In SIH 24, we travel to Meerut, which is in north, and then we travel to Ahmedabad in SIH 25. So when you reach that particular stage, तब के लिए ये वाला slide है कि you end up making 70% of the solution before you leave from Mumbai. So that उधर जाके you are just doing the final touch-ups and the 30% of work. Now, why is that? Is that on ground on the day of finale, it's a 2-day thing, so 48 hours. You have 3 mentoring sessions and 2 judging sessions. So first mentoring session में they will understand on तुम लोग ने कितना problem statement को grasp किया है and what is expected from their side. Now, you have been communicating with a particular person from the institution of the problem statement for feedback, but the person might not be the judge. The judge can be someone else. So they would have a different feedback in the sense that in my first assignments they told me that security aspect is very low. So there is no input validation, no XSS validation or SQL injection validation on all of the input fields. And since this is medical data, we won't compromise our data at any cost. So first thing you need to do is stop developing the features and just develop the security aspects. So while you have front-end validations, you need to have database or server or back-end validations as well, so that no one can intercept the data in between. The cyber security guys would know what I'm talking about. So over there, you need to keep much of space for their feedback. So you spend time developing the things that they particularly want you to focus on. So it helps that you develop the solution you thought already before you leave. And yeah, 30% rest of the solution and the feedback before you win over there. And then, okay, so on the hero part, so for any problem statement, if you can open a problem statement from the SIH portal and open GPT on another tab, and then converse with GPT for 2 hours saying that how can I build a solution for this, or how can I build a PPT for this, or how can I stand out, I assume anyone in Delhi, Chennai, or Bangalore can do the same too, with 1 hour and access to ChatGPT. Then how are you different from the other teams in other parts of India? So, which is why you have to actually sit down and be curious about tech in general. So for me, what worked in the last SIH was within database there is a complete classification of graphical databases. Does anyone know anything about graphical databases over here? Anyone? Neo4j, GraphQL? No one? So this is how Neo4j looks. So all of these are data points and they are connected to each other. So there are entities and linkages. So let's say I'm Yash, he's Vishal. Vishal invited me. So Yash is a node, Vishal is a node, and the link is invited me, which is how we'll be mapped over here. So this is used in general for faster querying so that the retrieval time is reduced, the latency is reduced, in the sense that a search bar would look up all of the entities starting with a particular name and having a particular relation. But over here, when you just find the entity with a particular name, the relation can be directly traversed and the retrieval time is then taken down. So then you have to sort of read more about what is new and upcoming in tech in general so that you can have one of the hero things. It can be a database, it can be a new algorithm, or for an algorithm, you can also have 2 or 3 existing algorithms that you combine or fuse into one so that the output threshold is much more improved in terms of accuracy. In the sense that when we had to develop a recommendation system, there is a BM25 library. Does no one know about? Does anyone know about BM25 library? It is Best Match 25, which is used in all of the recommendation systems, and you will find a lot of research papers on it. So we fused that with 3 other libraries and one particular method. So 4 of the things combining together made a proprietary algorithm, which also stands out, and obviously a feature in the sense that you want the entire onboarding to be voice-based or agentic. So that is a feature that you can think of uniquely. So any one of this is fine. That will make you stand out from rest of the teams. So that can act as a hero feature for you. Now the 4 blocks in the bottom are integration. So integration is तुम्हारा front end और back end connected होना चाहिए. You can't be showing front end on my laptop and back end on किसी और का laptop and saying कि it will be integrated, but अभी time नहीं था. So that has the completeness is a very important parameter. Security, as I mentioned, like you can read about XSS or SQLi attacks and how they worked and how data is intercepted after being validated from the front end. So those aspects, and then there are algorithms like SHA-256 for encryption, so on and so forth, like all of that nerdy things you can read about. And then your flow should be unified and it should be decided in the sense कि let's say you guys had 2 months of time, तुम लोग ने 10 feature बना लिए, but then you don't get the time to showcase all 10 features. Then what is the flow, like जिसमें 3 या 4 main features cover होंगे that you want to showcase on the day of finale? That has to be pre-decided, and this is not something that a team leader or one person from the team would sit down and do. You need the entire team to discuss this. Ki, okay, we have 10 features, but we have only 10 minutes of demonstration time for a final prototype. Then what 4 features are the core features and what flow sits down into those 4 features? Let's say ki patient registration, say I did 2 or 3 things that a patient can do, and that covers all of my hero features. So that is important. And documentation, as I mentioned, that if you are taking user interviews or if you are reading research papers to find a hero feature, you need to document each and everything so that on the day of finale, you can go to the judges and be like, okay, this is the solution, this is our story, this is what you have worked on. And the best cases, which I always prefer, not just for SIH, but every hackathon is, if I'm reading 5 research papers or if I've read 5 research papers about anything I'm using in the hackathon, be it a database or algorithm, I take printouts of that research paper and I hand it to the judges, saying that this is the paper I read, you can also read it or refer to it whenever you have free time. Because all of the hackathons have 2 or 3 judging rounds. And it's the same judge. So एक round और दूसरे round के बीच में, anyways they have time to kill. And if you give them a printout of a particular research paper, वो लोग ऊपर ऊपर से तो पढ़ ही लेंगे. And it's just like तुम्हें एक good parameter of recall मिलता है saying that no other team did that, but one team came up with a pile of research papers and a pile of user interviews, and it's for me to read and refer. So it just improves your credibility in general for that particular hackathon. Yep, so this is the slide for what you have to do on ground on the finale. You have to back your research, saying that this is not something that I was suggested in my dream and I made this up. No, this is backed by actual research and actual researchers. It is validated. So I'm using these algorithms and these libraries or these databases. Then you have to just believe in yourself enough that whatever we have worked up to for the past 2 or 3 months will be fruitful. And then again, you have to be open to feedback in the sense that mentoring or judging session, if they bring up something, this is the aspect you need to fix in terms of security or in terms of UI, in terms of UX, anything, then uh, by the time they come back for the second mentoring round or judging round, you should leave everything aside and then just fix that particular feedback and showcase it to them as soon as possible. Because when you go to the finale, the first presentation is the only presentation that you drive. कि मैं 2 महीने से ये बना रहा था, मेरी टीम ये बना रही थी. We took so many interviews. All the stories that you make is only relevant to the first particular presentation. First round of presentation के बाद none of it matters. What matters is तुम्हारा फर्स्ट राउंड ऑफ प्रेजेंटेशन सुन के उन्होंने तुम्हें क्या बोला. उन्होंने ये फीडबैक दिया, उनको ये 3-4 चीज़ें अच्छी लगी, बट अब ये 3-4 चीज़ें उनको चाहिए. सो यू ड्रॉप एवरीथिंग एल्स एंड उनको जो 3-4 चीज़ें चाहिए फॉर द नेक्स्ट डे यू जस्ट वर्क ऑन दोज 3-4 थिंग्स. एंड you need to basically read the room and understand the judging criteria. The judges would be like, okay, if you are developing something from home, like okay, it's very noteworthy, it's very novel, it's very unique, but then there's a doubt कि okay, there can be seniors or teachers or your friends or someone helping you. So they just try to test you on the spot and give you some feedbacks which are very difficult. But you try to complete them by the next round of mentoring or next round of judging. Or if they are so huge कि वो बनाया ही नहीं जा सकता 2 दिन में, then you do as much as possible and you map out the entire concept of it. So even for me to encrypt the entire Neo4j database with SHA-256 encryption is impossible. So I just took a subset of the table into MongoDB and saying कि मैंने ये एक subset को encrypt कर दिया है. If tomorrow you want me to encrypt the entire Neo4j database into SHA-256 encryption, you give me time of 2 or 3 days. I've done it over here, I do it over there. And if you want to ask me anything about the encryption process कि मैंने कैसे किया, then you should be equipped enough to know everything about the algorithm and how the encryption works. So if you are just able to showcase the clarity of concept कि okay, you give me some feedback, I have implemented a small demonstration of it, and I've read about it enough, I've studied about it enough that you can ask me anything about it and I'll be able to answer. That's good enough. And you should act on the feedback as fast as possible. Yeah. So your entire pitch for the final round, which is the longest in duration also and with the most number of judges also, should start from the first point is their feedback on your implementation and plus what they suggested and what can be the future scope around it if you are not able to complete all of the feedback within the time frame. And then it should be your solution's readiness, the integration of front-end, back-end, UI, UX features, your hero features, everything. And you should form a story demo in the sense. So one example I can give over here is, since for the last SH we were building a recommendation system. Now India is a country where a lot of things are done on trust basis, like word of mouth. If someone wants an internship, for any Gujaratis, they would know the word Odkhan. You can just refer someone and get the thing done. So what you want is what you want the agentic recommendation system to do is mimic the human ability of cognitive functionality, in the sense that like humans can hear something, perceive it, acquire that data, store it, and retrieve whenever the time is right. Saying that if I meet my friend's dad today saying that he works in whatever a big fintech like JP Morgan or something, and then I meet a cousin of mine who is just graduating and wants to get into fintech, मेरे दिमाग में आएगा कि okay, I know someone who works in JP Morgan who might be able to refer this particular cousin of mine. So this entire end-to-end process is called the cognitive ability of me to hear something and retrieve it at the right time when I hear a related thing. So we try to make a recommendation system on the basis of the cognitive principles, saying that when it scans your resume, it notes down all of the unique parts about you, and when it sees the right opportunity, how you would recall for some real person with your real brain, that cognitive ability will be replicated into our agentic recommendation system. So that is the storyline that we try to develop, and our final presentation was backed by research papers that were trying to fuse human abilities with LLMs. and unke printouts, and that was the entire pitch that we used for our particular final pitch. Yeah. And this is the word from my team for you guys if you are participating in this year's SIH. If nothing, just have fun with it. Like, don't take it as another academic thing. Just sit down with your friends on a Google Meet for hours every day. Just try to enjoy it and be passionate about actually solving a problem for the sake of doing something together. And in order to do something well, you have to enjoy it. That's the baseline. Only then you will go above and beyond to try all of the things and all of the tricks to get through. And the worst case is if you don't win, you end up making good friends out of it, which is what we did also. So yeah, this was the entire agenda. We are open to questions if you have any.
Guys, you can ask your questions.
They can be as silly like chalega bhai. Like I have been here. I didn't participate in my second year because me and all of my friends thought we were not ready, and because we were scared to ask silly questions or do a silly presentation and apply for SIH. So we wasted an entire year. So no matter what year you are in or what silly questions you have, you can ask. Like this is the right time to show. Please.
Nowadays everything is of cloud and anti-gravity, like coding तो उस पे बेस हो गया है, तो उस पे बेस हो गया लाइक क्लाउड एंड एंटी-ग्रेविटी, तो मैनुअल कोडिंग का भी क्या है वहाँ पे समझा नहीं,
For SIH.
क्योंकि सबका स्किल्स नहीं होता कि लाइक सबको सा पर्टिकुलर लैंग्वेज पूरा है, तो लाइक वहाँ पे मैनुअल कोडिंग भी लगता है या फिर मोस्टली क्लाउड है, लाइक एआई से हो जाता है.
Okay, so it also depends on the ministry जिसका तुम problem statement choose कर रहे हो. For me, for both years, you were allowed to use all of the AI tools. For the first year, SIH 24, we didn't have much. We just had Copilot. And for SIH 25, we ended up using OpenAI, Claude, Google, जो जिधर काम आ जाए, जिसकी API मिल जाए. So yeah, you can use it. But then, if you're applying for specific institutions like ISRO, जहाँ पे data is proprietary or anything, what you can do is whatever problem statements you like, you can just look up on YouTube or Google search कि उसके past year के teams जिसने apply किए थे उनके तुम्हें YouTube vlogs या website पे blogs मिल जाएंगे, and you can just sort of gauge it from their example कि उनको AI का restriction था कि नहीं था. As such for me तो नहीं था, we used everything. Anyone else?
Guys, you can ask anything. Don't hesitate. No one will judge you.
If you guys don't ask, Vishal has to ask one. Yes, please.
Hi, I wanted to ask when and how did you realize that you were ready for hackathons?
So there is no such particular epiphany that happens that okay, from this point I am ready. You have to go to a hackathon and you have to be pathetic at it for the first time and second time. And once you like, the entire point of going to the hackathon for the first time or second time is just understanding how things work around you, how teams are trying around you, and how are they using and how are they developing it. Like currently, if you haven't been to a hackathon, you would think कि 24 घंटे में पूरा फ्रंट एंड कैसे बन रहा है, and how are they developing it, and क्या होता है fast API, how do I even connect a fast API with the front end component. So the first and second hackathon or the first 4 hackathons are not for you to go and compete. It's just for you to go and have an understanding of the environment on how things work, and you can always speak to teams that are neighboring to you, asking you, okay, we are completely newcomers into this, so that they know that you are not a threat or competition. They end up helping you, or you just end up observing them. Or if you are under a, so let's say if you are at home on a Sunday, you won't dedicate the entire 24 hours learning something new. But if you are at another college or at an event on Sunday for 24 hours, you won't watch like movies or anything. You'll at least try to do something with whatever AI you have or whatever friends you have. So that's the starting point. You be miserable at it enough times to then know how to be good at it.
Thank you.
Sure. please.
रिगार्डिंग सिक्योरिटी, जैसे आपने बोला था आपको भी सिक्योरिटी का बोला गया था चेंजेस करने को, सो प्रॉपर साइबर सिक्योरिटी का कोई कैंडिडेट आपके ग्रुप में रहना चाहिए या एक नॉलेज सबको ही होनी चाहिए सिक्योरिटी रिलेटेड, वेब डेवलपमेंट का हो या फिर वो एमएल का हो, कैसा भी?
So there are many problem statements pertaining to cybersecurity. If you're applying for those, then obviously you need more team members having expertise or interest in cybersecurity. But for what we had were web apps. So usme, even if someone is aspiring to be a developer or like AI/ML engineer, it's a good practice for you to know like what is input validation on front end, what is input validation on database on server, so that no one is intercepting your API requests or front-end calls as such. So the minimum security aspects that I talked about were like input validation on all ends and data can't be intercepted and you encrypt data. That would be under the umbrella of any good developer or good AI/ML engineer. So you don't need a person having particular expertise in a cybersec domain as such. But if your problem statement revolves a lot around security, then you may consider having one shot.
Thank you.
While creating the SIH team, you said that we will have to need 3 full stack developers, then AI, ML students like that. So, as a person, if we want to participate in a hackathon, so we have to make ourselves perfect, or at least get acquainted with one particular domain. So, how can we choose that domain in that team so that we can create our team based upon the developers, ML engineers, etc.?
Okay, that's a very good question. It points out a fault in my PPT, which I agree that you don't need a full stack developer or a AI/ML engineer or an expert into that particular domains to form a team. You just need a person who agrees to do front end for the next 48 hours for a normal hackathon, and for the next 2 months, if someone is willing to learn front end or just try to learn front end or just has interest in front end for the next 2 months, is a full stack developer for you, is what I meant. And if I find a friend who is like, I am reading a lot of research papers, I am into AI/ML data science research, I just ask him why to next 48 hours तक data science और AI/ML के बारे में कुछ try करेगा बैठ के laptop पे, he will try to build something around it. If yes, then he is my AI/ML developer. As simple as that. You do not need to have any threshold of expertise to just try. Because what's the worst? Like, the worst case is the 6 of you with 6 laptops are trying to learn something, which is what the education system should anyways be about. So you just make it informal in the sense that there is no academic pressure to go and do it. So then you are sort of chilling with your friends, you are just making fun, mockery with your friends, and side by side you are also trying to learn something. Like the entire hackathon experience is that only. Like if I'm not doing well, I'm just enjoying with my friends for 24 hours and side me you are trying to learn something. So you are not a full stack developer, but if you apply for SH this year, the least you get out of it is you know how to like make a login page or make a dashboard page. Can you just verify an email with OTP? उतना तो निकल ही जाएगा 2 महीने में कुछ नहीं तो. So you are not losing anything. It's a win-win, and you get to spend time with your friends. And I, in my first hackathon, was a AI/ML developer, but the problem statement didn't have enough agentic AI or AI/ML features. So I ended up becoming a full stack developer. And till the time we actually left for the hackathon, I was trying to develop AI features, and in the first round where we had the control, the judge said ki AI is not a priority for us because we are a medical institution, we don't care about it. You can just give me more features on the management side, which is CRUD operations or solid principles or asset properties. So then overnight, I had never done full stack in my entire life in my 3rd year, and I picked it up. And from then, it actually transitioned my entire thing to then become a full stack developer. And by the summer, I was able to get an internship into full stack. So it would have never happened if I never went and the judge never said ki AI nahi chahiye. I was trying to do AI research, but then the judge forced me into full stack, and it kind of helped me, not in just winning the SH or in the SH, but even in my career. So such things happen only when you give it a chance. And give it a chance is just try, because what's the worst?
So we can just study ourselves and find out what exactly we want to do so that we can pitch in into the team as a member, right?
Yeah, like what I said कि एक संडे तुम 24 घंटा नहीं बैठोगे घर पे, but if you end up signing up for a hackathon, तुम 24 घंटा लैपटॉप पे कुछ ट्राई तो करोगे. That's the entire point.
Thank you.
That's it. भाई एक सवाल तेरे से ही हो जाए भाई.
Basically, how to face judges in the final panel if we selected for the final. How to present in front of them. So what we make the product, but we don't know how to explain it, how to showcase it. So how can we?
So going back to the first slide, टीम वाला एक तुम्हारी टीम में ऐसा होना चाहिए who is just documenting everything day one से तुमने जो भी किया एंड जो रोज 1 घंटा सोने से पहले बैठ के सिर्फ देखता है कि ओके दिस इज द प्रोग्रेस वी हैव मेड. फिर भले यू मेड प्रोग्रेस इन अ wrongful direction, it got omitted out, but then you did it. That's also an important part to say that we ended up going there, which we didn't have to, so we came back and did this. So the person who is documenting the entire thing, who is the presenter since day one, has to curate all of the documents and make a story around it and present it in such a way ki bhai, it's not even about presenting something. It's at that point, if you are in the finals and you are presenting in the final round, you are nowhere concerned that whether this is a good pitch or whether I will win or not. The only concern that even if you end up being in the position, even you will have only one concern. Like one concern is मैंने 3 महीने या 4 महीना हम 6 लोग ने जितना भी ट्राई किया है ना, हम लोग सिर्फ गिना दे उनको जाके. They like it, they don't like it, it's fine. Your intent ends up pivoting to, you just want to tell them, you just want them to listen that what you did for the last 3 months. That's it. If you are able to convey we did this for the last 3 months, then the ball is in their court if they like it or not. तुम्हें अपने साइड से प्रेजेंट कर दिया कि हमने इतना काम किया था, हमने गिना दिया, थैंक यू. एंड यू स्टार्ट विद देयर फीडबैक कि आपका फीडबैक भी ये था एंड वी ट्राइड सो मच ऑन योर फीडबैक एंड दिस इज वेयर वी आर एट एंड देन इट्स देयर कॉल.
अगर मेरा फर्स्ट हैकाथॉन है तो एसआईएच होना ज़रूरी है.
नहीं भाई, बिल्कुल नहीं. Any hackathon is fine. You can start. SIS is great if you start with SIS as a first thing. The entire point is you just end up participating so that you end up learning about a few things. And if you keep on doing it iteratively, gradually you keep on becoming better at the particular thing. Like the first time you bicycled, भाई गिरा होगा या like नहीं हुआ होगा, but if you do it for 2 weeks or 10 days every day, you end up learning how to bicycle. It's the same thing. If you try to go for a hackathon every week in the web app domain, you end up learning how to develop a web app. Or if you end up participating in a datathon every 2 weeks or every month, you end up learning how to participate in a datathon and how to win a datathon eventually. So just you can pick any hackathon and start. Thank you. Cool, then thank you guys. That was all from my side. For all the spills of tutors, thank you.
Thank you so much, Yash, for such an insightful and wonderful session. We thank you from the whole BitByGo committee and VCET. And your work has shown us that success in SIH is not just about technical skill, it is about the approach and the ground level research you did that was new for me basically. So thank you so much for being here and your valuable time.
Thank you guys. Likewise.
Give a big round of applause for Mr. Yash. So guys, there is one more speaker from our own college, but we will take a 5 minutes of break for that. You guys, if anyone wants to go washroom and all, you can go, but keep your bag right here only. Just 5 minutes break.
So 2026 SIH, and let's start. The point is, Mr. Yash, who presented before, his topics and our topics are like overlapping, but we will try to guide you best from our side that how to compete in internal hackathon. Because before applying for SIH PPT on the main portal, you have to clear the internal hackathon that is conducted in our college itself, in each respective departments. Okay, so let us start. So this is the timeline for SIH 2026 that will be held this year. You will get this on the main portal of sh.government.in. Okay, so as per every year, this year also the applications will start in August itself. So before that, you will get the problem statement list. The problem statement list is released on sh.government.in. And what does problem statement consist of?
It consists of problems of software edition and hardware edition both. Since we are from EXTC department, we had a problem statement that are both like combination of software and hardware both. There are respectively like software problem statement different, hardware problem statement different. Also, there is a thing called as student innovation. So if you have your personal projects that are related to the government or some ministry, but that is not listed in the problem statement list, then you can go for student innovation. And in student innovation, there are various categories like cybersecurity, full stack, blockchain, hardware, everything, green technology, everything. So if you have a project of your own, you can apply for student innovation also. And yes, so in August itself, internal topic selection will take place in each department. And in our college, each department allow only 5 teams from each department to apply for SIH, because main SIH registration is done in college itself. Okay, so there is SPOC of our college, Mr. Sainath Patil sir from IT department, who register all the students group on SH main portal, and then you can register your PPT there. Okay, so first clearing the internal round is important. So let us move to the next slide. Yes. So how to form a team? So team should consist of 6 members. 1 female is necessary. And what? So there is a myth. More female members means more chance of winning. There is nothing like that. Okay. There is no such thing. Like it's on you. If you are 3 girls, 3 boys, one girl, 5 boys, anything is fair. But make sure you have a variety of minds in your team. Like someone should be good with full stack, someone should be good with AIML, someone should be good with cybersecurity, someone should be good with blockchain. If you are going for hardware edition, there is something known as development, right? So in hardware, you need someone who builds prototype. So there is that knowledge is also important if you are going for hardware edition. Can I just know how many of you are interested in hardware deployment? Are you all guys from software branches?
Yes.
Majority from software branches. So no one is interested in hardware. Works. Okay. So yes. So as I told, there is no such thing like more female members with more thing. The only thing is we should have bright minds in our group who will be able to cope up with the problem there. Because many times what happens is we choose a problem statement, we have a solution for it, our PPT also gets selected. Okay, but what happens is when we go there, there are judges of national level, right? So they ask for changes. What you planned here might change when we go there at the nodal center. And in our case, that is what happened. We planned something that was related to AIML image processing, but when we go there, there was something known as trading. If you are aware about blockchain, they told us to implement that, and we were not aware about what it is and what we okay. So let me make a thing clear. If you are going for software edition, it is for 36 hours, 2 days, and if you go for hardware edition, it is conducted for 5 days continuous hackathon. And once you are there, you have allotted a desk, then you can't keep your desk unattended until your hackathon completes. So if you are for 2 days there, at least 1 member should be on your desk to represent your team. And in daytime, all members should be there. At night time, it can be switchable, okay? But for 5 days, our team was on desk. Like at night, we used to be 3 on desk, 3 to sleep, and that kind of thing. So you should have a good communication in your team. That is what I'm speaking. If you're good friends, your team, you are good in communication with each other, things go very smoothly. Or else there are clashes. So I hope you have that kind of thing. Next is okay. So when you go there, there should be a mentor from your college itself. So choose your mentor wisely. Your mentor will be anyone assistant professor from your college itself. Okay. So anyone, like if you're able to communicate with good teachers, we have a very good faculty in our college. They will help you with PPTs and everything. But depending on your problem statement, choose your mentor. Okay, the profession, like if you have a faculty that is good with AI/ML and your project is related to AI/ML, then go and approach that faculty because your mentor will come with you at the nodal center. Okay, so choose your mentor wisely. Second is the leader. Why I'm saying the leader is important, because everything is under leader's hand. Your PPT registration, your each member's every detail are in hands of your leader. Next thing, when SH connects with you, when you get selected for SH and when it connects with you, they only connect with the leader through email. So you need to be updated. So choose your mentor who is like more techie person, who is like quick to reply and all. Okay, fine. Can we go to the next? Okay. So how to choose the problem statement? So it will be explained by Shweta.
So the next slide is choose the right problem statement. So many people think winning in hackathon is just only doing coding and have only technical skills. But in reality, you should the first step the first step towards the success is to select the right problem statement. I can tell you. Yeah. Okay, fine. You can able to see this? Okay, fine. So the first is avoid high competition. So do not choose the easiest problem statement you're just seeing by. So let me ask you some questions. If 500 teams selects the same problem statement, क्या होगा? या कंपटीशन हाई हो जाएगा फिर. तो फिर तुम लोग क्या करते हो कि नहीं भाई ये इजी दिख रहा है तो हम ये ले लेते हैं. रिमेंबर, if it looks easy to you, it probably looks easy to everyone else as well, right? Yes. So थोड़ा अपना दिमाग चलाओ उसमें कि हम easy है तो इसके लिए ले लेते हैं. नहीं, ऐसा कुछ देखो जो जिसमें कंपटीशन लो हो, तुम्हारे जीतने के चांसेस हाई हो, right? So the next part is think about innovation. So innovation does not complete mean to build a completely new project. It is simply means कि तुम environment में क्या problems देख रहे हो, क्या environments में क्या ऐसे related issues है तुम face कर रहे हो या फिर people face कर रहे हैं, तो वो चीज़ को अगर तुम solve कर पा रहे हो तो it is well and good. तुम लोग वैसे projects innovation अगर वो existing problem है and you know कि उस problem से भी हमारा क्या solution अच्छा कुछ build हो पा रहा है, so you can go for it. Okay. Now solve the real problem. As I said, you have to see the problems surrounding yourself and you have to see कि तुम क्या better बना पा रहे हो वो बाकी लोगों से. हर कोई एक ही बनाएगा प्रोजेक्ट तो उसमें तुम कर पाओगे तो सब लोगों का एक ही सब लोग अगर एक ही सॉल्यूशन देंगे तो ऑफ कोर्स तुम्हारे जीतने के चांसेस कम हो जाएंगे. तो ऐसा कुछ ढूंढो कि जो कि स्मार्टर हो, तुम्हारा प्रॉब्लम फास्टर हो और यूजर फ्रेंडली वे में हो, राइट? नाउ नो योर टीम स्ट्रेंथ. नाउ हर किसी के पास तो हर एक स्किल्स होती नहीं है, हो भी सकती है, बट अभी मैं मानती हूँ कि तुम सेकेंड थर्ड ईयर पे तो हर किसी के पास होगी, मैं ये नहीं मान के चलती हूँ. बट कोई ना कोई AI में होगा अच्छा, कोई ना कोई एम्बेडेड में अच्छा होगा, कोई ना कोई UI UX में अच्छा होगा, कोई प्रेजेंटेशन स्किल्स में अच्छा होगा. तो तुम लोग अपना वैसा प्रोजेक्ट देखना जो तुम्हारे टीममेट स्किल्स के अलाइंस हो थोड़ा. और अगर तुम कुछ नया भी देख रहे हो, जस्ट मैं अपना एग्जांपल देती हूँ. हम लोग ने देखा ब्लॉकचेन रिलेटेड, वो हमारे लिए कम्प्लीटली न्यू था. वी डोंट अवेयर अबाउट व्हाट इज ब्लॉकचेन एंड तो हम लोग ने थोड़ा उसके बारे में रिसर्च एंड ऑल किया. तो अपने टीम्स का स्ट्रेंथ भी देखो क्या है क्या नहीं. सो नाउ द नेक्स्ट इज रीड एवरी वर्ड केयरफुली. SIH के पोर्टल पे ना वहाँ पे टाइटल प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट के लिस्ट आते हैं, वहाँ पे टाइटल होता है. तो वो कई लोग ऐसे देख लेते हैं कि हाँ भाई ये अच्छा लग रहा है, ये कर लेते हैं. बट द थिंग इज मेन थिंग जो वो लोग एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं एज अ एक्सपेक्टेड आउटकम फ्रॉम यू, वो तुम्हारे डिस्क्रिप्शन में होता है. यू हैव टू रीड ईच एंड एवरीथिंग. इवन एक छोटा सा चीज़ तुम्हारे पूरे प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट को बदल सकता है, राइट? Now check feasibility. Yeah. So if कोई प्रोजेक्ट बन पा रहा है तो ही उसका वैल्यू होगा. जस्ट बिकॉज बनाने के लिए बना दिया तो उसका कुछ वैल्यू इतना होगा नहीं. रिसर्च बिफोर यू स्टार्ट. इफ तुम कोई प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट ले भी रहे हो तुम उसके बारे में रिसर्च करो. ये नहीं कि हाँ ये अच्छा लग रहा है, देखने में अच्छा लग रहा है, वाओ. नहीं, तुम उसके बारे में रिसर्च करो. तुम लोग वीडियोस देखो, यूट्यूब ऐसे एग्जिस्टिंग प्रॉब्लम्स होंगे पहले भी. तुम लोग रिसर्च पेपर्स देखो, तुम्हारा क्या सॉल्यूशन उससे अलग है. इफ देखो, जजेस वही देखते हैं कि तुम बाकियों से क्या अच्छा कर पा रहे हो, राइट? अगर बाकी सब वही कर रहे हो, तुम भी वही कर रहे हो, तो डजंट मेक सेंस, राइट? थिंक बियॉन्ड द हैकेथॉन. अब भाई चलो टीचर्स ने बोला है तो ले लेते हैं, हैकेथॉन में है थोड़ा टीचर्स प्रेशराइज करे, ले लेते हैं. नहीं, अगर तुम्हारा कोई भी प्रोजेक्ट ना लॉन्ग टर्म विजन में जाता है, तुम उस प्रोजेक्ट को उस हिसाब से देखते हो, तो तुम्हारा अपने आप प्रोजेक्ट इम्प्रेसिव हो जाएगा, अपने आप इम्पैक्ट लाएगा सोसाइटी में, और ऑफकोर्स उसका वैल्यूबल बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ जाएगा. नाउ द लास्ट पार्ट इज बी प्रिपेयर्ड मेंटली, फिजिकली एंड इमोशनली. सो ये बात बहुत कम लोग बोलते हैं, इसके बारे में बहुत ज़्यादा रेयरली डिस्कस किया जाता है ये बारे में. बट द थिंग इज ये बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है तुम लोग को जानने के लिए. बिकॉज देखो, हैकेथॉन्स इज़ वेरी एक्साइटिंग कि तुम लोग जाओगे वहाँ पे लोगों से सीखोगे, बट वो उतना ही चैलेंजिंग भी होगा. सो वहाँ पे तुम लोग को कोडिंग एरर्स आएगा, तुम लोग एक दूसरे को टीममेट्स में गालियाँ बक रहे हो कि यार तू क्या कर रही है, मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, ऐसे ऐसे तो होता है. तुम लोग को भाई मतलब क्या होता है, इरिटेट हो जाओगे, फ्रस्ट्रेट हो जाओगे. बट लिसन, डोंट बी पैनिक, सपोर्ट योर टीममेट्स. की बाकी बात तुम्हारे मतलब कुछ टाइम बाद वही काम आने वाले हैं. तुम्हारे अकेले से प्रोजेक्ट नहीं बिल्ड हो जाएगा, वो लोग साथ देंगे तो ही साथ हम प्रोजेक्ट ही कर पाएंगे. डोंट बी पैनिक, सपोर्ट योर टीममेट्स एंड कीप गोइंग, कीप ग्रोइंग एंड बी पॉजिटिव. दैट्स ऑल फ्रॉम माय साइड.
एसआईएच में जाके ये करेंगे वो करेंगे, बट जाएंगे कैसे? उसके लिए हमें पीपीटी राउंड क्लियर करना है. सो द फर्स्ट थिंग यू शुड रिमेंबर इज दैट you are not going to present your project. Your PPT will. We don't know who are the evaluators. There will be 3 evaluators. We don't know who are there, from which background are there. So your PPT should be so simple that from any non-tech people can also be able to know what you are working upon. And also, if you are choosing a common problem statement, if there are suppose 500 groups registering for a project, so you should see which solution is way different by the 499 groups. And also the each evaluators will have 250 plus presentations. They have to evaluate in 2 to 4 minutes. So your PPT should be so simple, and it should cover the topics like your problem statement, second your solution, and why is your problem solution is different from other teams. So then only you can be selected from it.
So effective PPT for SIH. So for PPT, you should first keep thing in mind, like the PPT should be short. Like evaluators will have only 2 to 4 minutes to check upon your PPT. So they will you have to highlight the key information of your problem statement. And second is visual over text. So we should not put more text. We should put visuals like infographics from Canva, images. It's okay. And third is clear problem with clear solution. So like your problem statement is like blockchain. So you should put what is blockchain and what is its solution. And fourth is simple and professional. Like don't put many like images, full of images. Put little text and don't put paragraphs. Put points, images, like use infographics. Thank you.
Do you guys want to see our PPT? Like what we uploaded to get selected? Yeah,
Yes.
sure, we will show you that. Shweta just mentioned that think beyond hackathon. Because what happened in SIH is they also provide internship. If you're the winner, you get a chance to work with the ministry for the upcoming few months until and unless your project is completed. Okay, so think in that perspective also, because not only your evaluators will be there, industry people will be there at the nodal center. They will come, they will ask. If you are not the winner, there is a chances that some industry person get like your idea and they want to take you somewhere else. So you get a connection. So it is also like that. So that what she means when she said think beyond hackathon. Okay.
हो गया पीपीटी अपडेट सिंपल पीपीटी है इधर से दिख जाएगा पीपीटी तो नहीं दिख रहा
Hello. Is it visible to all of you? So this is the standard template released by SIH on their main portal, and you are not supposed to exceed 6 slides, and all 6 slides are already mentioned. First is problem statement, second is technical approach, and further is feasibility and viability, references, and workflow. Yes, this is what it is. So okay, look at this. What we tried here is to make use of infographics and content in a balanced way. So we have stated the problems and the solutions, and we have color coded the same in a methodology. One slide should be able to convey your whole problem. Okay, and don't make use of AI images a lot. I would suggest, if you are going for block diagrams, make use of erasable AI. If you are going for something like you have to convey something through your image as is such a problem statement, go for lovable or lovart AI. You can make use of that also. So make use of AI when you are generating PPTs, but like don't generate your whole PPT using AI. Use your own thing, and this is PowerPoint presentation, so you can't make use of Canva. You are supposed to make your PPT on PowerPoint itself. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is the technical approach. So main thing is mention your technology stack, what you are using. Since we were hardware, we were building a drone and some sensors and satellite imaging also, with also combined with a software. So we can't really add what we were using in a hardware, but we mentioned what we were using for a front end, back end. So see, we just simply put the logo. We did it like wrote line by line that we are using this for front end, we are using that for back end. Just make use of logo. The evaluators are smart enough to guess what is in the logo and what technology stack you are using. The technical approach, the main workflow, we made use of images, not the wordings. If you get here, we made like satellite imaging, drone, IoT, AI, carbon calculation. So our whole problem was visually appealing and to grasp easily. It was this is the best way to show what was our problem and what we were giving the solution to it. Okay. Impacts and benefits. This is the main slide. So your project shouldn't just be limited to a particular extent. It should solve a societal problem. If you show them that your solution is going to benefit India, if you are getting aligned with some government schemes or something like that, that will really make your high chances of getting a PPT selected. Okay, because see, for our problem, okay, so almost there are 5 government scheme in latest that we were aligning with. Our problem was aligning with 5 latest government schemes, and we were getting funding from that also. So we were showing that if we don't get selected here, we have another way to approach our idea and get it deployed in the market. Okay, so that is also important. Next, visibility and viability. Of course, if you are building something that is not feasible enough or reliable enough, there is no point of creating that project, right? So you have to show how feasible it is and who are getting benefited by it, right? So our project was benefiting farmers, was also benefiting business people, and was somewhere promoting job opportunities. That was what our problem about. So, like, are you guys aware about carbon credits? Do you know there is carbon credit trading taking place? Is anyone aware about it? So you won't get that. Let me explain in very short. If you are aware, there are plants who absorb carbon dioxide. Am I right? Yes. And there are industries who emit a lot amount of carbon in the environment. So there is a thing that causes pollution. So if our industry is exceeding their carbon dioxide, then they are supposed to offset their emission by buying carbon credits. So if they are emitting a lot amount of carbon dioxide, then government tells them you have to pay taxes in the form of carbon credits to offset their emission. And that is what our portal is about. So our portal was displaying that how farmer and a business person can get attached on a single platform to do this trading, because India don't have such kind of platform. So we were the first to show this idea, okay? And our project was under student innovation. It was not in the PS category. So that was our innovation was all about. Okay, in research and reference, I would highly suggest get connected with the industry, the problem you are solving about. Okay, so if you are solving any industrial problem, get connected with it and put it in your research and references. That would really help. Huh. So from 2025 onwards, SIH has allowed to put your prototype link. So if you're creating a front and back end software, you can put it in the technical approach. You can put your link in the technical approach through which they can see what your software looks like. So you can do that. Before that, it was not allowed, but now you can do that. So if you are working pre-hand on some projects, you can put that link on the technical approach slide.
So hello guys, I'm Tanisha and I'm going to talk about teamwork. This is from my personal experience. I got to know that teamwork is as important as, from winning perspective, it is important. Like even though if you have most innovative topic or strong technical skill, it depends, like okay fine, because there are many competitors over there who are better than you. But teamwork is something I myself learned in this hackathon. So I'm sharing my personal experience here with my team. So I remember on the very first day there was a team beside us. They had said, or they were in different PS. They were doing really very great since day one. They also got positive remark from the judges on very first day. Unlike us, we didn't get a positive remark on very first day, and judges were kind of very strict with us. So that they were doing great, but since it was 5 days hackathon, on the second day onwards, honestly, as Shweta told you, like emotionally, mentally, physically, you obviously 5 days continuously you are going to not have a good sleep or eat good food. It was a major factor for us. We were also suffering, but second day onwards, it was noticeable for all the teams. Like there was not proper communication and coordination between teams. So on the last day, I remember the results were going to be declared, and we were sitting in the seminar. It was really very stressful. Like everyone was sick, almost all the guys and girls, everyone. And Akansha was sitting beside me. She was also having fever, and I was also having fever, and she was using the roll on, that kind of thing on her forehead. At that time, I also went out, and Shweta and Niktam were outside. So that guy came over to us and told us, like, you guys are doing really very great since day one. Because we were supporting each other in every aspect. Even though it was her task, I will support her. Even though I don't know AIML, I try my best. So you guys need to know what your project is, and each of you should support each other. And even if you don't know, as previously a guy told, you should do your best. Like you should try new things. Software, UX, AIML, you should do all things. Myself, I did blockchain in whole project. So, and one more incident I will share, it was on the last day. That many unexpected things happened on the last day. It was 4th day night. Almost whole project was completed, and that is the mentor over there, the one who overlooks all the groups. So he came over to us, and from our PS, there was our competitor who do exact same thing as blockchain, and there was a new feature called as NFT. He came over us, he told us like, if you did NFT part, definitely one of the group is going to win. So it was exciting news because obviously we know for sure we don't have to compete with other 5 people, it's only 2 of us. But it was also a difficult situation we were because we have no idea. And there were only 7 hours left before the grand finale.
I would like. Okay, so I would like to mention that Smart India Hackathon was our very first hackathon. So we didn't had any experience before that. So even if you guys are like, no, we haven't done any hackathon before and we are trying to apply for Smart India Hackathon directly, no restriction. This was our first hackathon and this was our first win and first attempt. So you guys can also try. Since we were from our college, we were 2025 first hardware edition winner. We are looking forward to you guys to bring a trophy from software edition in this 2026. So
And I also want to add that that moment it was stressful. We all were tired, and I didn't sleep for 3 nights or 2 nights.
because we have 5 days continuous hackathon. Unlike software edition, it is like in 2 days only 4 rounds, and we were having 5 days hackathon, and we were having 4 rounds of So we were having like mentorship and judging round for whole 5 days. So it is mentally exhausting.
So I will tell, I was also very angry at my teammates, like, okay, now, because there was rumors that that competitor team was way ahead of us and they did NFT part. And we didn't did that. So I was like, let's give up. Like, we did our best, very best, since this is our first hackathon. But they guys motivated, it's okay, even if it's your blockchain part, I will try to help you. ChatGPT को prompt देंगे, कुछ तो करेंगे भाई, but we will not give up. And even though they were angry at me, we sit together that whole night and we did. And one of the most unfortunate thing happened, like we slept for 2 hours, then we woke up and went again where other members were in the seminar. At 11 o'clock, 3 hours before the final presentation, the one thing we worked whole night broke up. The file was cut off. And I was literally on the verge of crying. But again, they motivated, like we can do it, we are sitting side by side because blockchain was not only one part remaining, hardware was remaining, AI was remaining, other things were also remaining. So choose your team very wisely because for me, they were my motivation. They supported me, and if you are taking part in hardware hackathon, trust me, it's one of the like भाई बहुत अच्छा है 5 दिन. We were select like our project was software based, to be honest. It was software based, so तो भी हमने try किया, हमने hardware में डाला क्योंकि हमें 5 दिन केरला में था, and the college and everything is was amazing. So hackathon is not only about studying, पता है भाई, engineering में studying is one important thing. But from this hackathon, I have the most amazing memories, and I'm sure you guys will love this like hackathon experience. So many different people. So teamwork is as important as your project topic if you want to win. And जाओ भाई करो. अभी से तुम लोग like 3rd, 2nd year में हो. Now is a best chance because in 4th year things are really very much hectic. You have to do internship, campus recruitment. अभी से तो TCS भी start हुआ है. So अभी के लिए best time for you guys is 2nd and 3rd year. So try to explore yourself. And one more thing I want to mention. After SH we did Pune Hackathon with our same project. But the judges over there didn't understand our project at all. The judges were very negative, even though the media came over at our table. They told like project is very great. But the judges at the end of the day was like, वो like हमें सीधा बोले कि मुझे तुम लोगों का project समझ नहीं आया, बहुत अच्छा project है, but मुझे कुछ समझ नहीं आया. This was a sentence. So judges are also a big task. And explain your project very clearly. Like, yeah, pitching is really very important because on first day, our judges were like, तुम लोग क्यों ही आए हार्डवेयर में? सॉफ्टवेयर का प्रोजेक्ट है तो सॉफ्टवेयर में जाओ. He just told us like this. So it was also very much first day से ही गंदा गया तो भी हम like मिल के हमने किया जो भी. So members are really very important. So friends के साथ जाओ और you can do it, guys.
Okay, we will show you a glimpse of our nodal center and just a glimpse of our winning moment.
Yes, that was a college, like the one in the starting. Not everyone is so lucky to get a nice college. We, like teachers also told us, like last 2023 batch when their college was very worse. So college, it's not always this best. We were lucky enough to get such a big college in Kerala. It was a private institute.
लेट्स गो यार इनका कैसे किया रहेगा पीपीटी बनाने नहीं आ रहा मान लिया भाई बंदों को अभी एक्सटी को भी गाली नहीं दे मुझे एक्सटी चूतिया लगती थी सही है अच्छा ये क्या चल रहा है वो उनका जर्नी दिखा रहे हैं जर्नी अच्छा मेंटोर होगा पागल मेंटोर होगा एक मेंटोर है इसमें
Guys, और अभी प्राइस भी करा है पहले 1 लाख था
अभी 1.5
so it's nice.
50 तेरा 50
So
मेरा
anyone has any question?
To listen your journey and your experience. Although you are from VCET, so it was more comfortable with you. You just tell us about the ground level problems you faced and everything. People are hesitating to ask, but let me clear that you are attending this session for hackathon purpose. So the doubts you are having and you are not asking out, you will go with the same doubt at home and you will be stuck over there only. So this was the chance when you can just ask your question. This is for you guys. All the efforts are for you. So don't hesitate. These people are from our college, not also something like the big entity is there and they will be judging you and all of this. Okay, thank you.